Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to share something simple yet life-changing. You don't need 100 books, years of searching, or some complicated secret to improve your life. You need a formula so easy, so practical, and so powerful that if you start applying it today, you will see results instantly. The formula is this: clarity plus action plus consistency equals transformation. First comes clarity. Most people live in confusion, drifting without direction, not truly knowing what they want. But the moment you get clear about who you are, what you want, and where you're going, your life immediately begins to change. Clarity is like turning on the lights in a dark room. You suddenly see possibilities, pathways, and opportunities that were always there, waiting for you to notice them. The second step is action. Dreams without action remain fantasies. You don't need to know every detail or wait for the perfect moment. You just need to start. Even a small step forward is progress. Remember this: action cures fear, action creates momentum, and action builds confidence. The instant you take action toward your goals, you feel empowered. You feel alive. The third part is consistency. Success is not built in a day. It is built every day. The small habits you repeat become the foundation of your future. Consistency is what separates those who wish from those who achieve. If you are consistent, if you show up even when it's tough, even when it's inconvenient, you will see your life transform faster than you ever imagined. So, here is your easy formula. Clarity plus action plus consistency equals transformation. If you get clear on your goals, take bold steps toward them, and stay consistent in your efforts, you will not just improve your life, you will revolutionize it. And the best part, you can begin right now. Ask yourself, what do I truly want? What small action can I take today? And how can I stay consistent tomorrow? Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait for permission. The formula is in your hands, and the power is already within you. Use it, apply it, live it, and you will see your life improve instantly. Clarity is the starting point of every breakthrough, the foundation on which transformation is built. Without clarity, we drift like a ship without a compass, tossed around by the waves of distraction, doubt, and indecision. The truth is, most people don't fail because they lack talent or opportunity. They fail because they lack clarity about what they truly want. The moment you define your vision, everything changes. Imagine standing in a dark room, unsure of where the door is. You stumble, you hesitate, you feel lost. But the instant someone turns on the light, the way forward becomes obvious. That light is clarity. When you know exactly who you are, where you're going, and why you want it, your steps become purposeful, your energy becomes focused, and your confidence begins to rise. Clarity is not just about setting goals. It is about creating a picture so vivid in your mind that it pulls you forward. It's about asking yourself the tough questions. What do I really want in life? What kind of person do I want to become? What impact do I want to leave behind? Too often, people chase goals that don't even belong to them. Dreams handed down by society, expectations from family, or comparisons fueled by social media. But real clarity comes from within, when you silence the noise and listen to your own heart. It is when you define success on your own terms, not someone else's. And when you do that, every action you take feels aligned, every step feels meaningful, and life begins to flow with direction. One of the most powerful things clarity does is eliminate confusion. When you don't know what you want, you waste energy trying to do everything. But when you're clear, you don't have to say yes to every opportunity. You can boldly say no to what doesn't serve you. Clarity gives you focus. Instead of being scattered and exhausted, you channel your energy like a laser beam toward the things that truly matter. This focus is what creates speed, and speed is what creates results. You begin to move with purpose, and that purpose pushes you through obstacles that once felt overwhelming. Clarity also fuels motivation. Think about it. When you wake up in the morning with a clear picture of your dream, it excites you. It gets you out of bed with passion because you know your actions are building towards something that matters deeply to you. But when you lack clarity, every day feels heavy. You go through the motions, but inside, you're unfulfilled. Clarity turns routine into meaning. It transforms work into progress and progress into fulfillment. And the beauty of clarity is that you don't need to have your whole life figured out right now. You just need to be clear about the next step, and then the next will reveal itself. Clarity is like driving at night. You don't need to see the whole road to reach your destination. You just need your headlights to shine a few feet ahead, and by consistently moving forward, the entire path unfolds. That is why clarity is powerful. It doesn't demand perfection, it only demands direction. When you decide to get clear on what you want, when you stop living on autopilot and instead create a vision for your life, you instantly separate yourself from the majority of people. You no longer wander aimlessly. You begin to walk with certainty. That certainty brings peace, it brings confidence, and it brings strength. Clarity is not just about knowing where you're going. It's about creating a life worth going toward. And the moment you gain it, you don't just improve your life, you transform it instantly. Action is the bridge between dreams and reality, the spark that turns an idea into something tangible. You can have all the clarity in the world, the most beautiful vision of your future, but without action, it remains nothing more than a thought. Action is where change begins. It is the moment you stop thinking about what could be and start creating what will be. Too often, people wait for the right time, the perfect plan, or some magical moment of certainty before taking the first step. But here's the truth: there is no perfect moment. The right time is always now. Action doesn't require perfection. It only requires movement. The beauty of action is that it builds momentum. The first step might feel heavy, uncertain, even terrifying. But once you take it, the second step becomes easier, and the third easier still. Think of a train at rest. It takes massive energy to get it moving, but once it builds speed, it becomes unstoppable. The same is true for your life. Action creates energy, and energy fuels confidence. Every small step forward becomes proof that you are capable, that you are progressing, and that you are closer to your goals than you were yesterday. Many people fear failure, and that fear holds them back from taking action. But the irony is, inaction is the greatest failure of all. Failure is not falling down. Failure is refusing to get up. Action gives you feedback. Even if you stumble, even if things don't go perfectly, you learn, you adapt, and you grow stronger. Inaction teaches you nothing, but action teaches you everything. It reveals what works and what doesn't. It helps you refine your approach, and it makes success inevitable. Because with enough persistence, the lessons you gain through action will lead you to the results you desire. Another powerful truth about action is that it breaks the chains of fear. Fear lives in the mind, and the more you sit and think about what could go wrong, the more paralyzed you become. But action disrupts that cycle. The moment you move, the fear loses its grip. You shift your focus from what if it fails to what can I do right now, and that shift changes everything. Action is the cure for fear because it replaces doubt with progress. Taking action also builds self-belief. Confidence is not something you wait for, it's something you create. Every time you act, no matter how small the step, you prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you thought. You reinforce your identity as someone who doesn't just dream, but does. Over time, those small actions compound, and suddenly, you look back and realize you've built something extraordinary. Action doesn't have to be massive to be meaningful. Often, it's the small, consistent steps that make the biggest difference. Writing 1 page a day leads to a book. Saving a small amount regularly leads to financial freedom. Exercising for 10 minutes daily leads to a healthier body. Tiny actions repeated with intention create massive results over time. The key is to start now. Start small if you must, but start. When you commit to action, you send a powerful message to yourself and the world. I am serious about my life. Opportunities begin to appear, doors begin to open, and people begin to notice. The universe responds to action. It rewards courage, it rewards effort, and it rewards persistence. And that is why action is the key to improvement. You don't have to wait years to feel the change. The moment you act, you feel alive, empowered, and in control. So don't just dream, don't just plan, and don't just talk about what you want. Step into it, take the leap, make the call, write the proposal, go to the gym, start the business, say the words you've been holding back. Because action is the force that transforms potential into reality, and every single step you take brings you closer to the life you desire. The instant you act, you begin to change, and that change is the start of everything you've ever wanted. Consistency is the secret ingredient that transforms short bursts of effort into lasting success. Anyone can be motivated for a day, anyone can take action once, but true growth comes from showing up again and again, even when it's not easy, even when the excitement fades. Consistency is what separates those who achieve extraordinary results from those who give up halfway. It is the quiet discipline of doing the work, day after day, that builds character, strengthens habits, and creates unstoppable momentum. Motivation may get you started, but consistency is what keeps you going. Think of consistency like drops of water falling on a rock. One drop alone does nothing, 10 drops still leave no mark, but when those drops keep falling over days, months, and years, they carve through stone. That is the power of steady effort. It may not look impressive in the moment, but over time it creates unshakable results. Many people overestimate what they can achieve in a single day, but underestimate what they can achieve in a year of consistent action. The key is not to do everything at once, but to keep doing the right things regularly. Consistency builds habits, and habits build your future. When you repeatedly take small, positive actions, they eventually become automatic. Waking up early, exercising, learning, working on your dreams. At first these may require effort, but with consistency they become second nature. Once a habit is formed, it carries you forward without draining your willpower. This is why consistency is more powerful than intensity. Anyone can sprint for a short time, but it takes discipline to keep running the marathon of life. The person who stays consistent will always outperform the one who burns out after short bursts of effort. Another beauty of consistency is that it compounds. Just like money grows with compound interest, your actions grow when repeated over time. Reading 10 pages a day doesn't feel like much, but in a year, that's over 600 pages. A dozen books that could completely change your perspective. Writing a single page a day may seem small, but in a year, you have a book. Small workouts may not look like progress at first, but a year of consistency transforms your body and mind. The results of consistency are not always immediate, but they are inevitable if you stay the course. Consistency also builds trust, not just with others, but with yourself. When you consistently keep promises to yourself, you strengthen your self-respect. You prove to yourself that you can be relied upon, that you follow through. This self-trust becomes the foundation of confidence. Others begin to notice too. Whether it's in relationships, work, or personal growth, people trust and respect those who show up reliably. Opportunities flow to those who are consistent, because the world rewards dependability. But consistency does not mean perfection. There will be days you miss, moments you stumble, and times you feel tired. What matters is not being flawless, but coming back. Missing a day does not break consistency. Quitting does. True consistency is about resilience, about picking yourself up and recommitting every time life tries to pull you off track. This persistence is what turns ordinary people into champions. So, if you want to improve your life instantly, commit to consistency. Decide today that you will show up for yourself, not just once, but again and again. Even if it feels small, even if progress seems invisible, trust the process. Because over time, the small things you do consistently become the big things that define your life. Consistency transforms effort into excellence, dreams into reality, and moments into legacies. Stay consistent, and there is nothing you cannot achieve. Transformation is the ultimate reward of clarity, action, and consistency. It is the moment when all your small steps, daily habits, and intentional choices come together to create a life that looks and feels completely different from the one you started with. Transformation is not just about external success, it's about the deep inner shift that changes how you see yourself, how you approach challenges, and how you experience the world. It's not a single event that happens overnight, but a gradual process where one day you look back and realize that you are no longer the same person you used to be. That is the beauty of transformation. It happens slowly, then suddenly, and when it does, it's undeniable. At the core of transformation is identity. When you commit to improving your life, at first you may feel like you're forcing yourself to adopt new habits and step outside your comfort zone. But over time, those repeated actions begin to shape your identity. You stop just doing things. You start becoming the kind of person who naturally lives that way. Someone who exercises daily doesn't just work out. They see themselves as healthy. Someone who consistently studies doesn't just read books. They see themselves as a learner. That shift in identity is transformation because it goes beyond behavior and touches who you are at your core. Transformation also changes the way you relate to challenges. In the past, obstacles might have stopped you, but once you've built clarity, action, and consistency into your life, challenges become opportunities. You no longer see failure as the end, but as feedback. You develop resilience, patience, and courage. Transformation is about becoming stronger, not because life gets easier, but because you become wiser, tougher, and more capable of handling it. This inner strength becomes one of the most powerful results of the process, because once you are transformed on the inside, no external circumstance can take away your progress. Another aspect of transformation is freedom. When you change your habits, your mindset, and your daily routines, you begin to break free from old limitations. Maybe it's the limitation of self-doubt. Maybe it's the limitation of procrastination. Maybe it's the limitation of fear. Transformation shatters those chains and opens up a new sense of possibility. You realize that the walls you thought were holding you back were only illusions, and that your potential is far greater than you once believed. This freedom is what allows you to dream bigger, aim higher, and live more fully. Transformation doesn't just affect you, it impacts everyone around you. When people see your growth, they are inspired to change too. Your discipline, your persistence, your achievements become proof to others that transformation is possible for them as well. In this way, your journey becomes bigger than yourself. It becomes a ripple effect that spreads hope, courage, and motivation to others. The most beautiful thing about transformation is that it never truly ends. There is always another level of growth, another step forward, another version of you waiting to be discovered. Transformation is a lifelong journey, not a destination. And that is what makes it so powerful, because you are not just improving your life temporarily, you are evolving continuously. Every time you embrace clarity, take action, and remain consistent, you ignite transformation again and again, moving closer to the best version of yourself. And when transformation happens, life is never the same. You don't just live, you thrive. You don't just exist, you inspire. You don't just survive, you leave a legacy. That is the power of transformation, and it is available to anyone willing to embrace the formula and commit to the journey.